Have you ever considered the limitless power of your brain and its ability to change? This question might seem a tad bit overwhelming at first, but let's break it down and dive into the fascinating world of our brain's elasticity, more commonly known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a scientific term that describes the brain's incredible ability to change and adapt. It's like the brain's version of a chameleon, constantly changing and adapting to different situations, experiences, and even our thoughts and feelings. Just as a river, over time, can carve a deep valley through solid rock, our thoughts, beliefs, and actions can shape the physical structure of our brains. Every time we think a thought, feel an emotion, or perform an action, we're sending signals through our neurons, which can strengthen or weaken the neural pathways in our brains. This process is how our habits, both good and bad, are formed. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a cycle of negative thinking or struggling with a bad habit that you just can't seem to break, it's not because you're weak or flawed. It's because your brain has been wired through repeated thought patterns and actions to respond in a certain way. But here's where the magic happens. Just as our brains can be programmed to respond negatively, they can also be reprogrammed to respond positively. By consciously choosing our thoughts and actions, we can start to change the neural pathways in our brains. This change can lead to shifts in our emotions, behaviors, and overall mental health. Imagine being able to harness this power, to take control of your thoughts and actions, and to shape your brain in a way that supports your well-being. This isn't science fiction, it's science fact, and it's happening right now inside your brain. The brain's ability to reprogram itself is truly fascinating, isn't it? The power of your brain is truly limitless, and understanding this power is the first step towards harnessing it. So let's dive deeper into this journey of understanding and applying the power of our brains. Now, how can we harness this power and reprogram our brains for better mental health? Well, let's dive right in. The process of reprogramming our brains is similar to learning a new skill. It requires time, dedication, and most importantly, practice. And just like learning to play a musical instrument or mastering a new language, the key to success lies in our consistency and patience. Let's start with mindfulness, the art of being present in the moment. This practice allows us to become more aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's like stepping back and observing our minds from a distance. This increased awareness is the first step in the reprogramming process. It allows us to recognize the thought patterns we want to change, and that's half the battle won. Next, we have cognitive restructuring, a fancy term for changing our thought patterns. This involves identifying negative or unhelpful thoughts and challenging them. Instead of accepting these thoughts as absolute truth, we learn to question them, dissect them, and eventually replace them with more positive and helpful thoughts. It's like weeding a garden. We pull out the harmful plants and replace them with beautiful, nourishing ones. Now on to positive affirmations. These are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves, often in front of a mirror. They serve to reinforce the new positive thought patterns we're trying to establish. Think of them as the water and sunlight that help our new plants grow. Remember, this process is not an overnight fix. It's a journey that requires consistent practice and patience. It's like training a muscle. The more we work on it, the stronger it gets. So don't be discouraged if change doesn't come right away. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and keep believing in the power of your mind. With this foundation in place, we can start to change our brains and improve our mental health. And that, my friends, is the beauty and power of brain reprogramming. Now that we understand the process, let's break it down into easy-to-follow steps. Our brain, this marvelous organ, is the control center of our body and mind. It's always learning, always adapting, and it's never too late to teach it something new. Let's dive into the step-by-step guide to reprogramming your brain. Firstly, let's focus on mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness is the practice of focusing your attention on the present moment, without judgment. It's about acknowledging your feelings, thoughts, and sensations as they arise, without trying to change them or push them away. Here's how you can practice mindfulness. Start with a simple breathing exercise. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Feel it as it enters and leaves your body. Do this for about 5 minutes each day, gradually increasing the time as you get comfortable. Remember, the goal is not to clear your mind, but to focus on the present moment. Next, let's talk about cognitive restructuring techniques. This is a method used in cognitive behavioral therapy to help you challenge and change your negative thought patterns. Here is one technique you can try. Identify a negative thought you often have. Write it down. Now, question its validity. Is there real evidence to support it? Could there be other explanations? Then try to replace it with a more balanced thought. For example, if your thought is, "I always fail," you could replace it with, "Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. That's part of life." Practice this regularly, and over time, you'll notice your thought patterns shifting. Our third step involves positive affirmation practices. Positive affirmations are statements that help you challenge and overcome self-sabotaging thoughts. They are usually in the present tense and express a positive belief about yourself or your life. Here's how you can practice positive affirmations. Write down a list of positive statements about yourself. They could be things like, "I am capable," "I am deserving of love and happiness," or "I can handle whatever comes my way." Repeat these affirmations to yourself every morning and evening. It might feel strange at first, but with time you'll start to believe them. Now, here's a crucial part: repetition and consistency. Our brain learns through repetition. The more you practice these techniques, the more they'll become a part of your daily routine, and the more your brain will start to rewire itself. Think of it like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Here are some practical tips to incorporate these practices into your daily life. Set reminders on your phone to practice mindfulness, cognitive restructuring, and positive affirmations. Practice them at the same time each day to create a routine. And remember, it's okay to start small. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Reprogramming your brain is not a quick fix. It takes time, patience, and persistence. It's about creating new pathways in your brain, changing your thought patterns, and ultimately, changing your life. By following these steps, you can start to reshape your brain and change your life. Remember, the journey to a healthier mind is not a race, but a marathon. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your small victories, and keep going. You're doing great, and you're capable of so much more than you think. So what have we learned about the power of the brain and its ability to reprogram itself? Over the course of this video, we've taken a deep dive into the fascinating world of neuroplasticity, the scientific term for the brain's ability to change and adapt. This remarkable feature of our minds allows us to reshape our thinking patterns, habits, and overall mental well-being. In the beginning, we explored the mind's vast potential. We saw how our brains are not static entities, but dynamic structures, constantly evolving and adapting. This intrinsic power of the brain underscores the potential for change, growth, and improvement. We then delved into the fascinating process of reprogramming the brain. We learned that this is not a magic trick or overnight transformation, but a gradual process requiring consistent effort and commitment. It involves identifying negative thought patterns, challenging them, and replacing them with more positive and beneficial ones. Our step-by-step guide provided a roadmap to this reprogramming journey. It emphasized the importance of mindfulness and awareness as we become more attuned to our thoughts and feelings. It highlighted the role of repetition and reinforcement in establishing new thought patterns. And it reminded us of the significance of patience and persistence, as this process is akin to changing the course of a river. It doesn't happen in an instant, but over time. The potential benefits of brain reprogramming for mental health are immense. By taking control of our thoughts, we can manage stress better, improve our mood, boost our self-esteem, and enhance our overall quality of life. We can cultivate resilience, optimism, and an overall more positive outlook on life. In essence, we are not just passive recipients of our thoughts. We have the power to shape them, to mold them, and to direct them in ways that serve us better. This is the beauty and the power of neuroplasticity. Remember, the power to change your brain and improve your mental health is in your hands. Start today and see where the journey takes you.